You don't get extra points for not being evil. You don't get awards and you don't get credit for not executing tyranny. This guy that you see right here on the right, to the left of the governor, is Harold Medina. He's the police chief of the Albuquerque Police Department. This is him right here, also sitting next to the governor. You can see him right there. This is Harold Medina. Well, Harold Medina put out a tweet the other day, and we're going to go over that tweet. This says, Chief Medina sent the following message to APD officers about the governor's state order on gun possession. Let's watch how dishonest he can be. And a lot of people are giving him kudos for this, guys. A lot of people are going, hats off to Chief Medina. He's standing strong. He's standing by the Constitution. He's doing it what it takes to stamp out tyranny. We need more police officers like Chief Medina. Do we really? Let's examine this. The governor issued a 30-day state order that limits gun possession in Bernalillo County, including the city of Albuquerque. Is that true? Was it just a state limit? Now, if it was just a state limit on gun possession, that's bad enough. But it wasn't just a state limit. It was a gun ban. It was a criminalize gun owners, innocent gun owners ban. And that's really what it boils down to. Criminalize innocent gun owners in the name of keeping everybody safe, because safety and security is always going to be the alibi of tyrants. And as we've seen, this governor has shown her fangs and her claws, and she's shown her tyranny. But Medina's just talking about it like it's just a limit on gun possession. No, it's an outright ban, not just in Albuquerque, not just in San Bernardino County. This is an outright ban in the state of New Mexico by the governor. She said, hey, it's statewide, but it specifically applies to Albuquerque and San Bernardino County because there's so many incidents of gun violence in this area. Then he goes on to say the governor made it clear that state law enforcement and not APD will be responsible for enforcement of civil violations of the order. Okay, so what if the governor made it clear that it was state law enforcement and APD? Would you still be doing it? And what if your APD officers, your Albuquerque police officers, see the state law enforcement agents harassing and terrorizing and jailing and caging innocent gun owners for exercising their constitutionally protected rights? Are you going to do something about it to stamp out tyranny? Or are you just going to stand by and go, well, they didn't give us the order, we're not going to do that? What if you were my neighbor? Would you come to my house and knock on my door and say, hey, Brian, I just want to let you know, when you were gone to the store and when you go to the store and when you and Trish go out, we don't come into your house to steal your items. Okay, why are you telling me this? You wouldn't, that's not what you would do. You don't get extra credit for not stealing my items. Or what if I was your neighbor and I came to your house and I was like, dude, I got a home security camera. I watched people come to my house, break in. They were taking furniture. They were taking the refrigerator. They were taking everything out. And I saw you and your wife in your lawn. You're standing on your lawn, just watching them, not doing anything. Why didn't you do anything? So this police chief, Harold Medina, is saying, hey, it's state law enforcement who's assigned the task of initiating this. What did he call it? Limit on gun possession. First, it's not a limit on gun possession. It is an outright ban of the Second Amendment. It's a criminalization on those who would just dare to step across the line and exercise the Second Amendment right that each and every one of us has because we're a human being. And here he is. So what are you going to do? Stand by when the law enforcement officers start trampling the rest of our rights and jailing innocent people? He doesn't say, because he doesn't care. And it looks like he's expecting kudos, and he's getting kudos for doing something that he should be doing in the first place, and that is not exacting tyranny. You don't get extra credit for not being a tyrant. Matter of fact, you swore to protect, defend, and uphold everybody's rights under the Constitution. This criminal that calls herself a governor is the one who took away these rights and is criminalizing people. The very least all these cops should have done is they should have gathered together and said, hey, Are we in agreement that this is a violation of the constitutional rights we swore to protect and defend? Yes. Did we all take a solemn oath before God and man that we would actually stand against and imprison and take down any domestic or international terrorists? Yes, we did. Well, we got a domestic terrorist situation on our hands right now, and we need to do something about it. That's the least they could have done. But he's sitting here going, oh, they got limits on gun possession, and hey, at least it's not us, it's state law enforcement. Well, what are we going to do? Our officers at APD will continue to focus on the enforcement of criminal laws and arresting the criminals who are driving violent crime in the city. We have arrested over 200 murder suspects in the last 2 years, and field officers are making dozens of felony arrests every day. It makes me wonder if they're really felons, if they've really committed a crime, because we've seen APD at work. We've seen Mesa, Arizona at work. We've seen the LAPD in Los Angeles at work. We've seen the New York City Police Department and the NYPD being exposed by the Knapp Commission in the 70s and the Mullen Commission in the 1990s. And they concluded, and this is a government-sponsored commission to investigate NYPD from top to bottom, you're absolutely corrupt. In under the Knapp Commission in the 70s, and it's even worse now in the 90s, says the Mullen Commission. That's them saying it. That's not me. So I wonder how many of these are real felons that really committed criminal activity. Everyone is stepping up to keep Albuquerque residents safe from the influx of guns and illegal drugs. All you need to do is keep us safe from people who want to take away our rights, violate our liberties, and then steal a whole bunch of loot from our pockets to uphold these unconstitutional laws. That's all you got to do. You got one job, and you're not even doing that. And you're expecting extra credit for not doing something that you shouldn't be doing in the first place. We all know too well what it means that an 11-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl were tragically, you know what, by indiscriminate gun violence. So he's buying into the lie of the euphemism of gun violence when it's really people who commit violence. We share in the pain when our detectives, officers, victims, advocates, and chaplains respond to these tragedies and hold the hands of the family members who are devastated by the loss of precious lives. Nobody feels the pressure more than detectives who are expected to bring justice to those families. And do they? I mean, a large percentage of the time, do they bring justice? Or are they actually too busy bringing injustice to your door, going to the wrong house, shooting little harmless dogs that are wagging their tails, throwing flashbangs into houses and devastating and physically permanently altering little babies in a crib, pulling the trigger on people who are asleep in their houses? Engaged in enforcing the drug war, which is not a war on drugs, it's a war on people. Committing civil asset forfeiture on highways, just violating everybody's rights. They say nobody feels the pressure more than detectives who are expected to bring justice to those families. Time and time again, they rise to the challenge, and usually because the community stands by APD during these investigations. I appreciate any support we can get to save lives and end gun violence in Albuquerque. Let's all work together to keep Albuquerque safe. You want to keep Albuquerque safe, Mr. Medina? You really want to keep Albuquerque safe? Then you know what you would do? You would stop sucking up to the governor and you would arrest her. Let's just recap real quick. Not being honest about a tyrannical order, he literally watered down what the edict actually is. It's not a limit on gun possession. It's an outright ban of firearms. It's a violation of the Second Amendment, and it's a criminalization of peaceful gun owners. Let's just get that straight. He was absolutely dishonest in using political jargon to make himself sound good. Saying that they weren't commissioned with the task of raining down tyranny on the innocent, but state law enforcement was, doesn't give you an out. What you should have done is, yeah, you know what? We're against the governor. We're already in the process. We got people going over there right now to arrest her and throw her into a cage because that's what tyrants deserve. And if any one of these state officials exact that tyranny, we're going to be there to protect you from those state officials. Promising not to be a terrorist is not good enough. Saying, hey, we're not going to partake in this tyrannical edict. Well, yeah, we know you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. You don't get extra credit for it. And then standing by while Leos terrorize the state Leos, the state-funded Leos, and not the Albuquerque Police Department, are wreaking tyrannical havoc on the people of New Mexico. No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough to stand by. It's not good enough to let tyrants make laws. It's not good enough to watch other law enforcement officials exact tyranny on the people. It's not good enough. You got to step up your game. You got to stop being a tyrant yourself. Because if you think about it, if you actually are that neighbor who believes that your neighbor owes you something because you didn't steal their refrigerator or their safe while they were gone to the store, then you're probably an evil person doing a whole lot of evil things behind the scene. People just haven't discovered it yet. If you disagree with anything that I said here, leave a comment below. Leave a comment anyway, because it helps me work on the shadow banning censorship algorithm nonsense. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design you can get from the store. You can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, cell phone case, hat, pillowcase, whatever you want. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you guys in the next video.